Hey y'all, I'm Brer Sam, and this is one of my movie reviews. Today I'm reviewing a movie that I should have reviewed a long time ago, Kermit's Swamp Years. I saw this movie quite a few times growing up. When I was a kid, it was one of my absolute favorites. When I was in high school, I sort of pushed it aside because I didn't think it was a cool enough topic. You know, it's one of those things that you push away during your teenage years because it's not cool. But now I have rewatched it and it has regained its childhood charm. I still like it very, very much. So, what's the story? Kermit the Frog has gone back to his home to the swamp. Because obviously frogs live in swamps, so Kermit had to grow up in a swamp. And he tells us the story about the first time he ever left that swamp and went to a town full of human beings, traveled on a road, even interacted with human beings. And it's an interesting story, really, because you get glimpses of his first time watching a movie, wanting to be in one. But the whole thing is that the critters in the swamp are forbidden to talk to humans because they might kill them. But eventually they do end up talking to humans and it works out, really. And the way it does is actually really funny. So a young Kermit and his childhood buddies Croaker and Goggles, by the way, Goggles is a toad, not a frog. They go out on the road, and then ultimately Goggles and this other frog, Blotch, get taken to a pet store, and Kermit and Croaker have to go find them. And along the way, they meet a dog, Pilgrim, voiced by Cree Summer, and it just turns into a really crazy adventure that lands them in a high school. It actually, during the course of the adventure, you get frequent glimpses of the scientist, Dr. Krassman, and his assistant, Mary. And they both just want to capture frogs, because they're scientists. And later in the story, it turns out that Dr. Krassman is a high school teacher who needs frogs to dissect with his class. And it's one of those things where you're like, why the hell is he doing this? And then it gets to the high school and it's like, oh, that explains it. So what problems do I have with this movie that people actually consider the worst Muppet movie? Well, to start, it doesn't have any celebrity cameos. Because knowing the Muppets, they have like 50 celebrities in one movie. Like in Muppets Most Wanted, they have cameos by Usher, Celine Dion, and Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga. All these serious stars. But Kermit's Swamp Years doesn't have any. None. Although the actor playing Dr. Krassman had a good reputation, but I can't really put my finger on some well-known stuff that he was in, but Still, he's a good type. Mary's actress, Kelly Collins Linz, she has been in a lot of stuff, actually. As a matter of fact, I recently found out that she was in one movie, Miracles from Heaven, that I've been wanting to see. I think you might get a review on that one soon. And Mr. Wilson, the pet store owner, is played by William Buxton, a hole-in-the-wall, fly-by-night nobody. Literally, when you look at his IMDb page, he only has 9 credits. But that doesn't mean the performances were bad or anything. They were honestly all right. Another problem that I have with it is that there's no soundtrack for it. The songs are really fun, and there's a great song called Complicated in there, and it's so catchy. I used to sing it all the darn time when I was like 7, but no studio recording has been made of it, and there is no soundtrack album for this movie, and I would like one, so I guess that's a good complaint to have. And also, Kermit is the only regular Muppet to appear in this film, unless you count that brief cameo where you see a young Statler and Waldorf. So the story is pretty basic. Although actually, until recently, I didn't really get that. Like, there's one moment where Kermit says, "You always say reach for your star, but what if I can't reach mine from here?" So I never realized until recently that he was really saying, if I'm to follow my dreams, what if I have to leave my home? So, and yeah, that's actually kind of heavy for a Muppet movie. And also, the villain defeat in the end is not anything like a regular Muppet movie. Like, usually, you see the villain get taken to jail and the Muppets sort of like embarrass him and all that stuff. Yeah, you get the gist. But here it's just Dr. Craftsman getting a redemption, because it turns out that the only reason he was doing this dissection thing was because something went on in his childhood. I won't give too much away, but it is a really funny revelation. But that was the only reason he did it. So the defeat is like him finding out that he wasn't crazy or anything, and then not dissecting anymore. So it's a nice change, I guess. And there's also some clever touches too in the movie when you know the Muppets universe. Like, for example, Mr. Wilson has a keychain with animal on it. And there's a moment where a boy shows up at the pet store with his dog, and the dog's name is Rolf. Oh, and around the pet store, you see signs with names on them like Nelson or Laser. Yeah, those are all nods to Muppet performers and crew members like David Laser, Jerry Nelson, Dave Goles, Frank Oz. Yeah, the list goes on. But but my favorite Muppet Easter egg in this movie is the moment where this pig runs out of a barn and chases Kermit out of the pen, and Kermit's like, what the heck is that? And Pilgrim says, "That's a pig," and Kermit goes, "A pig? I hope I never see another one of those in my life." Obviously, he did meet another pig in his life, Miss Piggy. So yeah, Kermit Swamp Years is a fun prequel movie. It's got some very nice touches, and I actually think it built up Kermit's ambition to become the world's most famous frog really well, especially in the movie theater scene where he says he wants to be a movie star. That was clever. And also his friendship with Croaker and Goggles, it's really sweet and it's very comedic. So yeah, it's not one of the most well-known Muppet movies, and some people might not even like it, because like I said, some YouTubers say it's the worst one. But to me, it has a lot of stuff that people look for when they go into a Muppet movie. So I'd say check it out. Yeah, by all means check it out, because it's not a bad movie to grow up with or go back to when you're about to turn 20. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all later. Bye!